Pozdravljeni. Moje ime je Pedro Opeka, jaz sem generalni sekretar Bledskega strateškega foruma in rad bi se vam zahvalil, da ste v teh težkih trenutkih na Madagaskarju si vzeli čas, da se lahko z nami. Tako da dobrodošli.
Ja, hvala. Jaz včasih malo slabo se sliši, ampak upam, da se bomo razumeli.
Bomo, ni problema. Najlepša hvala.
Hvala lepa. Tisti, ki govori, če lahko govori bolj blizu mikrofona, da bolj se slišim tukaj.
Bomo probali čim bolj na glas govoriti.
Ja, krasno, tako zdaj, da vas dobro slišim.
Super. Najlepša hvala.
Veste kaj, jaz sem tam rekel, je tam tudi kardinal Parolin?
Ni.
A ni?
Kardinal je, mislim, da že na poti v Rim.
A ja, je že šel nazaj potem.
Je pa z nami generalni sekretar Caritasa.
A ja, ker jaz sem v svojem, kar bom bi povedal, sem bi mislil se zahvaliti kardinalu Paroliniju, ne?
Vse lahko,
je umestno?
Ja, je umestno, ni problema. Zdaj smo pa že v živo, tako da gremo.
Ja.
Najlepša hvala, s tem začenjamo tole slavnostno podelitev in rad bi na oder povabil zunanjega ministra dr. Anžeta Logarja, ki bo predstavil nagrado in jo tudi virtualno podelil gospodu Pedro Opeka. Minister.
Dr. Anže Logar, Minister of Foreign Affairs, to present the award.
Spoštovani Pedro Opeka, veliko čast mi je, da imam priložnost predati vam letošnjo nagrado Strateškega foruma Bled.
This year's Bled Strategic Forum Award.
Pedro Opeka, duhovnik in misionar na Madagaskarju, že več desetletij svoje življenje posveča najrevnejšim in najranljivejšim. Je ustanovitelj dveh humanitarnih združenj, Akamasoa in Antene Akamasoa, ki delujeta širom Madagaskarja. Prizadeva si za materialno in moralno pomoč ljudem, ki so v državi veljali za odpisane.
Pedro Opeka, a priest and missionary in Madagascar, has dedicated for many years his life to the poorest and the most vulnerable. He is the founder of two humanitarian associations, Akamasoa, which means good friends, and Antene Akamasoa, that are performing their activities throughout Madagascar. He strives to offer material and moral support to people, to those who were considered as written off by the country.
S pomočjo malgaških prostovoljcev je iz odlagališča smeti blizu glavnega mesta Antananarivo postavil mesto upanja za več kot 25,000 ljudi. Ti so tako dobili svoj glas in dostojanstva vredno življenje. V 30 letih svojega misijona je zgradil več kot 4,000 hiš in športne dvorane, cerkve ter šole in s tem zagotovil delo in izobraževanje preko 500,000 malgašem. Trenutno je v šolah, ki sta jih zgradili združeni v izobraževalni program, vključenih 14,000 otrok.
Together with volunteers from Madagascar, he managed to build a city of hope for more than 25,000 people at the landfill in the outskirts of the capital, Antananarivo. During his 30 years of serving a mission, he built more than 4,000 houses, sports halls, churches and schools, and he provided jobs and education for more than 500,000 Malagasy. There are currently 40,000 children attending educational programs in schools that were built by both associations.
Poleg Akamasoe je Pedro Opeka ustanovil številne nove izobraževalne ustanove drugje na Madagaskarju, ki jih danes upravljajo državne institucije. Prav tako mlade Malagaše uči spoštovanja in skrbi za naravo. Močno se zavzema za pogozdovanje in zaščito gozdov na Madagaskarju, od katerih je bilo že 70% uničenih. Skupaj z mladimi vsako leto posadi 50,000 sadik.
In addition to Akamasua, Pedro Opeka established numerous new educational institutions elsewhere in Madagascar. They are now managed by national institutions. He also teaches young Malagasy how to respect and take care of nature. He strongly encourages afforestation and forest protections. 70% of forests have been destroyed, and he plants over 50,000 trees together with young people every year.
V okviru humanitarne pomoči Ministrstva za zunanje zadeve Republike Slovenije 100.000 prebivalcev Madagaskarja zagotavlja osnovno zdravstveno oskrbo tudi obolelim s COVID-19 in zagotavlja prehransko varnost za otroke in najranljivejše prebivalce v času virusne pandemije.
Within the framework of the humanitarian aid provided by the Ministry of Foreign Affairs of the Republic of Slovenia, he enables the provision of basic medical care for 100,000 inhabitants and also for those affected by COVID-19. The aid is also used to ensure food security of children and the poorest inhabitants during the pandemic.
Pedro Opeka vsak dan znova ustvarja boljšo družbo, ki revnim prinaša upanje in boljše življenje. Zato si zasluži nagrado in čestitke strani Ministrstva za zunanje zadeve.
Pedro Opeka creates a better society every day, which brings hope and ensures better life of the poor. He therefore deserves the award and the congratulations of the Ministry of Foreign Affairs.
Najlepša hvala, minister, za te besede. Gospod Opeka, beseda je vaša.
Spoštovani gospod minister za zunanje zadeve Republike Slovenije, gospod Anže Logar, najlepša hvala za priznanje našemu boju proti skrajni revščini, ki je za nas nenehen in vsakdanji spopad v prid najbolj revnim smetiščarjem. Vaša nagrada nas bo še bolj ukrepila, da nadaljujemo delo za pravico, razvoj in napredek ljudi, ki so bili pozabljeni ob robu družbe.
Dear Minister of Foreign Affairs, Dr. Anže Logar, thank you very much for giving me this award and for acknowledging our fight against poverty that represents everyday fight and for the help that we offer to the people living at landfills. Your award will strengthen us and it will encourage us to continue with our fight for the development of people that were forgotten by the society.
Zahvala gre tudi slovenski vladi in predsedniku vlade, gospodu Janezu Janšu, ki ste nam dali v teh mesecih izredno humanitarno pomoč za naše revne družine, ki veliko trpijo zaradi pandemije koronavirusa. Hvaležni smo Sloveniji za pomoč in aktivno solidarnost. Vaša nagrada podpira delo, požrtvovalnost pozitivnih rezultatov v prid ljudstva, kateremu služimo že 50 let in je povzdignil njihovo dostojanstvo.
I would also like to thank the Slovenian government and Prime Minister Janez Janša for offering us in this month the extraordinary humanitarian assistance for our poor families who suffer so much because of the coronavirus pandemic. We are very thankful to Slovenia for the help and the active solidarity. The award encourages us and strengthens our sacrifice and encourages positive results. And we have been serving for people for more than 50 years, and in this way we help them keep their dignity.
V imenu vseh delavcev in delavk iz Akamasue se vam zahvaljujem za vaše priznanje da nadaljujemo socialno, humanitarno delo za pozabljene državljane, ki imajo isto dostojanstvo in pravice kot vsi drugi ljudje na svetu. Sprejmemo to nagrado kot podporo našemu boju za socialno pravičnost, za ljudi, ki živijo iz dneva v dan, brez vsake bodočnosti. Vsi vemo, da obstajajo milijonov ljudi, ki so naši bratje in sestre, ki živijo v tem trpljenju. To je izziv in obenem sramota za celi svet.
On behalf of all the workers from Akamasoa, I would like to thank you for your acknowledgement. And this encourages us to continue with our social and humanitarian work for those who were forgotten, but they have the same dignity and the same rights as anyone else in the world. So this award means the support for our fight for social equality for people who have no future. We believe that there are millions of people around the world, our brothers and sisters, who live in this kind of suffering, and this is also a challenge for everyone and at the same time a disgrace for the whole world.
Z velikim veseljem pozdravljam tudi vse navzoče brate in sestre iz različnih držav, ki sodelujejo v Blejskem strateškem forumu. Še posebej pozdravljam kardinala Parolina, ki nas je obiskal na Madagaskarju in osebno videl naše delo in ki je predstavlja papeža Frančiška, ki je tudi nas pred 2 leti osebno obiskal in podprl, ne samo z močnimi besedami in gestami, ampak tudi s konkretno in veliko pomočjo za tisoče revnih družin. Najlepša hvala. Želim Blejskemu forumu veliko pozitivnih rezultatov za vse državljane, brez izjeme, v Evropi in v Afriki. Moramo se zavedati, da brez socialnih pravic ne bo miru na svetu. In vsi si želimo miru v Evropi in na vseh 5 kontinentih.
I also like to welcome all the present brothers and sisters coming from different countries who are participating at this Bled Strategic Forum. And especially like to welcome Cardinal Parolin, who visited us in Madagascar, and he see in person what we do. And he represents the Pope Francis, who also visited us 2 years ago. And he supported our work, not just with words and gestures, but also with concrete help, substantial help of thousands of poor families. Thank you very much. I wish...
Zato je nujno, da v vsakem mednarodnem forumu mislimo in vključujemo skupno dobro za vse ljudi in ne samo za tiste, ki že dostojno živijo. Če je ljubezen, vera, dobrota, strpnost in močna volja, vselej lahko spremenimo naš svet na boljše. In to želim Blejskemu strateškemu forumu. Bog vas živi in hvala lepa vam vsem.
I wish the Bled Strategic Forum a lot of positive results for all citizens without any exceptions, citizens of Europe and Africa. We have to be aware that without social rights there won't be no peace on earth. And we all wish to have peace in Europe and in all 5 continents. Therefore, it is urgent that at each international forum we think of those in need and that we think of everyone, not just of those that lead decent lives. So if love, faith, generosity and strong will are such that can change us, they can change the world. And this is what I wish to the Bled Strategic Forum. God bless you all and thank you.
Najlepša hvala za te resnično izjemne besede in podporo in želim vam, da bi vaše delo na Madagaskarju še naprej prinašalo takšne rezultate, kot jih prinaša, oziroma še boljše, da bi čim več ljudi spoznalo veličino vašega dela in kaj delate za tiste najranljivejše skupine, ki so naše pomoči potrebne. Tako da še enkrat hvala vam, da ste si vzeli čas in upam, da se bomo naslednje leto lahko videli tudi v živo. Najlepša hvala.
Okay. Hvala tudi vam, gospod minister.
And with this, I would like to invite to take the chair, Mr. Dr. Aloysius John, Secretary General of the Caritas Internationalis.
Zdaj pa bi prosil sekretarja, gospoda Aloysia Johna, da se nam pridruži na odru.
Thank you very much for coming. There is one question. I know that you have to run to the airport and we will get you there safely, but I would really like to know your thoughts, your ideas, your proposals about the future of humanitarian work. How do you see this evolving? Where are the problems? And what do you think needs to be done better in order that groups of people which are, you know, the ones who need help the most would be better protected and better served?
Najlepša hvala. Rad bi vam zastavil nekaj malega vprašanj. Vem, da se vam mudi potem na letališče. Rad bi slišal vaše misli, vaše predloge o humanitarnem delu, o njegovem napredku, o težavah, ki obstajajo in kaj je tisto, kar bi lahko izboljšali za to, da bi zaščitili ljudi in da bi jim omogočili boljše življenje.
Good morning to all of you. And first of all, thank you for inviting me to this forum to share a few thoughts. Pedro, d'abord, félicitations de la part de Caritas Internationalis pour votre travail fantastique pour un pays qui a vraiment besoin. Et j'espère que nos chemins croiseront un jour dans l'avenir.
Merci, merci.
I would also like to thank the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, the government of Slovenia, for this great occasion to be in solidarity with the church organizations, with those organizations which are really struggling to fight against poverty. This is something fantastic, and I would like to appreciate this on the spot, because this is very important. In response to your question, I would just reply in 3 points. First of all, as an introduction, I would like to say that COVID-19 has changed the whole paradigm in this world. Nothing will be the same again. And last year when we met Pope Francis, he said the same thing. There will be a paradigm change. We have to prepare ourselves for a new era. So in this context, the humanitarian work is also going to be affected. I see 3 important areas to be looked into. First of all, there is a need to reinforce the capacity of the local organizations, local civil society organizations like Kamasua, which are there struggling to put in place different kinds of integral development, so to help them and to make them more professional. This is something important. That means empowerment, mobilization, and also helping them to be more accountable and transparent. This is something which needs to be, which will be coming in the future. We need to address this. The second area which I think which is very important is the global health. We have been speaking about the vaccination, COVID-19 vaccination, but we have to look beyond COVID-19 vaccination, because COVID-19 vaccination could become a tree that hides the forest of different problems. We have malaria, and I think Father Pedro knows better than I do the different kinds of problems you have in the country, in the society, especially with the poorest. So the question, the challenge we have is how to improve the access to health, the global health, and Pope Francis is also pushing us in this direction, how to take care of the health of the people. Secondly, how to restart the informal economy. I'm not talking about the economical prosperity. I don't know whether it will happen, but the question is, how do we restart the informal economy where the poorest have access to a basic living livelihood. Thirdly, education. I think the work of Father Pedro, which we have recognized today, is a living example. Without educating the people, without educating the poor, giving them access to education, I think our societies will not develop. So how do we give access to education? That means how do we give them the means also to survive? So these are the points I think will be, which will be very important in terms of orientation. The third point for me will be define a new paradigm for partnership. The partnership in the future will be changed. It's Father Pedro and many like him, Caritas, they are the ones who will be locally driving the development process. It will no more be the giver who drives the development process. So how do we help the local partners to have a new, get into a new creative solidarity? Getting into creative solidarity, giving prime importance to youth and women. Because today, without the youth and women, our societies cannot develop. And very often we tend to forget that. So how do we give place to youth and women? Another aspect is the triple nexus. We have been doing activities on an ad hoc basis. But now we need to structure our activities. So how from emergency we move to development, and from development we move to creating the condition that is peace and reconciliation. How do we promote peace and reconciliation? Without peace and reconciliation, it will not happen. Let us look around us, Syria, for example, Central Africa, Venezuela, Afghanistan today. So without peace and reconciliation, nothing will happen. There will not be dignity. There will not be people's power will not be recognized. So I think that's something which we need to look into. And there, I think Slovenia, I hope you will be really taking this up. The government of Slovenia, during the presidency at the European Union, I hope it will be certainly taken up as something very important for the future. Then lastly, I will stop with that. For me, the question is the role of the faith-based organizations. The faith-based organizations have an important role to play. I'm not saying this because I'm Caritas, but for example, Caritas, 162 Caritas in the world, present in 200 countries, and they're present at the grassroots level. And I discovered in Slovenia that Caritas Slovenia is present in 245 parishes. That means who else can attain these people, if not Caritas? So Caritas is present there, and not for itself, but it is there to promote the human condition. So these are the things I would see as a future trend for Caritas, or future trend for the humanitarian world. So how do we get into value-based humanitarian work? And that would be my conclusion. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Dr. Aloysius John, for these inspiring words. And now maybe for Pedro Opeka, a quick translation of the words that Dr. Aloysius has just spoken a moment ago.
Predvsem bi se želel osredotočiti na tri težave, s katerimi se soočamo, in tri teme, ki se mi zdijo izredno pomembne. In sicer to, da se najprej bi se zahvalil temu ministrstvu za njegovo solidarnost z našimi organizacijami, in pa zdaj bi torej povzel te tri stvari. In sicer prva stvar je COVID. COVID je zelo spremenil svet. Svet ne bo več takšen, kakršen je bil. In s tem se strinja tudi papež Frančišek. Treba bo se pripraviti na novo, in prav tako se bodo pri tem spremenile tudi humanitarne organizacije. Zato je zelo pomembno, da se okrepijo lokalne organizacije, takšne kakršna je Kamasoa, ki pomagajo ljudem k boljšemu življenju. Pomembno je torej opolnomočenje, da so te organizacije tudi zanesljive in pa transparentne. Naslednja stvar, ki je pomembna, je svetovno zdravje in pa seveda cepljenje. Vendar pa to ni edina stvar, ki je pomembna, kajti mogoče je COVID samo eden od dreves v gozdu, ki skriva še mnogo drugih težav in izzivov. Naprimer malarija. Pedro Opeka to dobro pozna. Ostajajo še drugi izzivi. In kako torej omogočiti dostop do pomoči? Takšen pristop seveda podpira tudi papež Frančišek. Potem bi omenil zagon gospodarstva. Tukaj ne želim govoriti samo o blagostanju, ampak o samem zagonu gospodarstva, ki je izredno pomemben. Pomembno je tudi izobraževanje. Pedro Opeka na tem področju služi kot izredno dober primer. Izobraževanje je izredno pomembno v revnejših delih družbe, kajti le tako jim lahko omogočimo razvoj. In na takšen način pridobijo tudi svoje sredstva za preživetje. Potem pa je še naslednja stvar, na katero ne smemo pozabiti, to pa je paradigma partnerstva. In delo, ki ga upravlja Pedro Opeka in pa delo, ki ga upravlja Caritas, so tista gonilna sila na tem področju. Kako bi torej lahko pomagali lokalnim, tistim, ki so aktivni na lokalnem področju, da bi spodbujali solidarnost. Potrebno je več solidarnosti za otroke in pa solidarnosti do žensk, kajti oni so ključni za našo družbo. Potrebno je razmišljati tudi o bolj strukturiranem pristopu. Torej, če začnemo z najnujnejšo pomočjo in nadaljujemo potem z razvojem, bomo prišli do stopnje, kjer bomo dosegli mir in spravo. Krizna območja, kot so Sirija, Srednja Afrika in pa Afganistan, nas opominjajo, kakšnem stanju je svet. In tam vidimo, da imajo ljudje nobenega dostojanstva. Tako da upam, da bo se tem tematikam posvetila tudi Slovenija v času predsedovanja Evropskemu svetu. In kakšna je torej, pomembna je tudi vloga organizacij, ki temeljijo na veri. Vemo, kako velika organizacija je Caritas, prisoten je v 200 državah in tudi tukaj v Sloveniji se vidi, da je prisoten v 245 župnijah. In zato je pomembno, da priznamo tudi njihovo vlogo in da jim pomagamo. Na takšen način bomo lahko spodbujali vrednote, ki jih podpira tudi organizacija Caritas.
Najlepša hvala. Thank you very much again, Dr. John, for all your words. And now, with God's speed, I hope you are going to catch the plane. The car is already waiting for you, and thank you again for your participation. Pater Opeka, tudi vam se najlepše zahvaljujemo za vaše besede in vašo prisotnost tukaj. In kot sem že prej omenil, upam, da bo vaše delo se nadaljevalo in da boste dobili vso potrebno podporo strani ne samo uradnih institucij, ampak tudi ostalih, da boste nadaljevali z tem, kar delate, ker je izredno simbolno, ne simbolno samo, ampak ker je izredno humanitarno, pomembno delo in najranljivejše skupine, ki jim vi pomagate, so tiste, ki so večkrat prepuščene same sebi, prepuščene ob strani in upam, da v prihodnosti, ker govorimo na tem forumu o prihodnosti Evrope, se bodo te stvari spremenile. In vi ste tista svetla luč, ki kaže neko svetlobo na koncu tunela. Tako da najlepša hvala še enkrat in srečno Madagaskarju.
Hvala lepa.
Nasvidenje. Hvala. With this, we have finished this session. Thank you very much for coming and see you at the next panels. Thank you.